The text that we're going to be looking at is a little pamphlet called Common Sense by a man named Thomas Paine.
They chose Common Sense as a text, and it can be a tough decision. There's a lot of great things out there. For anyone else who teaches the first half of American history, they may know too that it's really not until we get to Common Sense that we have as much of a choice. So it's kind of exciting for the social studies teacher to begin to get to a period where we have more really good but really challenging texts to use from.
If you were to say to a friend, oh, come on, that's common sense, what are you saying? Autumn, what are you saying?
Like it's true without a doubt.
True without a doubt.
This lesson really had staircase of complexity incorporated in it. The students have been working on increasingly complex texts, increasingly complex academic vocabulary, practicing the same annotation skills and discussion skills. So that culminated today in Common Sense, a very challenging primary text.
I'm going to give you your excerpt, all right, and what do you think we're going to do with it? What are we going to do with this excerpt? Joe, what do you think?
Raw.
Raw, right? Which means?
Annotate, highlight.
Very good. We're going to read, annotate, and highlight.
We have a strategy that we call RAH, R-A-H, read, annotate, highlight. This is something students are presented with in 6th grade, and we build on it in 7th grade, and this is across curriculum. So they have these expectations and this strategy, and they see and experience how it's applied not just in ELA, but in social studies, in literacy classes across the curriculums.
The first thing you're going to need to do as a team is decide together, do we think Thomas Paine is most likely a loyalist or a patriot? All right, and just to review real quick, loyalists were colonists who what? Loyalists were colonists who what? Charles, what do you think?
Are loyal, and they wanna stay with their country and fight with their country.
What government did they want to stay loyal to?
England?
That's right, to England. And then the patriots were the colonists who believed Antonio.
That they wanted to break away from their country because they didn't like the laws that their parent country were giving to them.
Okay, very good, very good. So with that in mind, let's read along. I'm going to read it out loud. I have heard it asserted by some that as America hath flourished under her connection with Great Britain, that the same connection is necessary towards her future happiness. Nothing can be more
They've seen success.
fallacious.
They've displayed the ability to implement that annotation strategy, and now we give them a really tough piece of work and challenge them to come through with it, which for the most case they do.
So right now, we're going to take 3 minutes to read, annotate, and highlight.
I think he was a
Loyalist.
It says right here, it says, I have heard it assumed by some that as America have grown under her connection with Great Britain, that the same connection is necessary towards her future happiness.
But then it says nothing can be more false.
Oh, that does make sense.
Then he says we may as well assume that because a child has thrived upon milk that is never to have meat, I answer that America would have grown as much and probably much more that no European power had anything to do with her. So
Yeah,
he thinks
patriot.
that
Yeah,
I would think that he's a patriot.
I didn't read the bottom.
So we believe he's a patriot.
Yes.
Now what in that text makes us think that?
That, like, a child thrived upon milk, but that it never gave meat.
Okay.
He says he's telling about all that he's heard, and then he said nothing can be more false.
Okay, nothing can be more false than what?
Then that America has flourished because of the connection to Great Britain.
All right, that's a pretty good argument. So why do you think you came to that first conclusion that he was a loyalist rather than a patriot?
He wanted Great Britain to be like happy in like the future and like with.
Yeah. Well, now, so if you had to do this in the future, what new strategy could you use to not make that same mistake?
Just keep reading like the text
Read
support.
read the whole text over again.
Okay, so because you were led to the wrong conclusion because you stopped short, right? So like you said, make sure we finish that thought of the author.
Now our final push today with this text, all right, is really proving can we make sense out of common sense? As a team, your challenge, and we'll be voting on, you'll be choosing who you think made the most sense. All right, your challenge is going to be to paraphrase Payne's words the way you would speak to a friend or to a teacher or to a parent.
We're in a really good situation in social studies because they're given complex texts. They're faced with Old English, with language and phrasing, and really an absence sometimes of grammar, punctuation at all. And we ask them to draw some conclusions and interpret those. One of the things that's great about these Common Core shifts, in my opinion, is that they see these texts where the first glance they say, what is that? I don't know. I don't know what that person is saying. I don't have any idea what those words mean. And as we dig in, as we work on strategies, they find that a text that might have looked very daunting and really impossible, at the end of the day, they can say with confidence, oh, this is what the author is trying to say.
Alex, what was your interpretation?
And it is still true of England that the same dictator which drove the first colonists from home still keeps their future children or grandchildren from home.
Excellent. We've got Joe. Tell us your argument, please.
Britain is the country that makes all of the rules. Then the more disappointment upon her behavior. Even bad people do not punish the 13 colonies, nor will they make war between the two.
Excellent.
As they get into high school, as they get into career college, they're not going to be intimidated by text, by documents. They're not going to shut down. They're going to see it as a challenge. They're going to be equipped knowing that they've met those challenges before. It's going to give them an advantage.